This is part 2 of my ion testing series. In this one, we're going to be testing several waters. Tap water from the tap in our classroom, bottled water, it was something we bought from the store, lake water from a lake in the Kawarthas, river water from right outside our classroom, unknown A, something I mixed up just to make it interesting, and unknown B, again, something we've mixed up in the lab. Now you can see right now I've already loaded up my water and my samples just so the video is not too long. And I'm going to test each sample with silver nitrate, barium chloride, and potassium thiocyanate. Now remember, in part 1 of this series, we identified which one of these three tests for chlorine, which one tests for sulfate, and which one tests for iron. And this will now let us determine when we have a positive test, what ions would be in my water or unknown sample. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple drops of each one to each thing, and we'll be able to then identify. So we'll start with our tap water. We'll add silver nitrate to the first well. And you'll notice I'll put the caps back on in between, mainly because I don't want to cross-contaminate. I don't want to put the wrong chemical cap back on the wrong bottle at the end, because that will ruin that sample for everybody that uses it afterwards. So I put those three in, and I'm going to look for a positive test. Sometimes there isn't one. That's okay. That just means that sample is clear of all three ions. Water testing is sometimes like this, right? Sometimes it's exciting, and sometimes it's not, and that's because it's a real thing, right? So there's my bottled water. Let's try our lake water. Again, we're looking for signs of chemical change, right? Something that shows that something has happened. Something happens, then we can then try to identify that ion using the tests from part A. Okay, we'll try our river water from right outside our beautiful school here in the Kawarthas. Whoop. Well, now I know the cap I dropped is the one that goes on my silver nitrate. Nothing ever happens perfectly in a video. Okay, so those are our water samples. We should be able to identify what's in them. We'll try our unknowns, which we added just maybe to add a little excitement. Make sure we got a positive test or two for analysis reasons, right? We want to be able to write something if we're writing up a lab report on this. There's unknown A and unknown B. Okay, so we should be able to see now we have a positive test on any of these. Take a careful look at the grid, decide what's a positive and negative test, and now you can go back to video 1 or look at your notes from video 1 and determine what's in my samples.